Hey guys, we are back once again here at CrossFit Garage doing another podcast on how to help you build a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finances. There was a short period where my dyslexia got me, and this podcast was called Building a Firm Foundation in Fitness, Food, and Fiancés. Because yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I'm here with Jennifer Saercy, and she is laughing at me because of my dyslexia. Tears? No. We're going to have a great conversation about, I love her story and her journey, and some of the things that her and her husband Alec are doing, and we're going to talk all about that stuff. So I think this is going to be a great podcast for ladies in the Woodstock area who may feel, I don't know if I can do CrossFit. It seems scary and out of my depth, but I think you have a great journey here with us, and I'm just looking forward to sharing that. So we're going to start off with, did you grow up here in Woodstock, Georgia?
Yes. Well,
you did? Okay.
Roughly this area. So I grew up from the time I was 5. I lived in like Ackworth, Marietta, not technically in Woodstock, but I went to school in Woodstock. So
okay, what school did you go to?
At the King's Academy.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, did I know that?
I don't know, but you probably know some people.
Oh, I know Cora right behind you, who's sitting there studying. She
Yeah.
goes to the King's Academy right now. So Kelly Teresi's kids are there.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so we went to Cherokee Christian.
Yeah.
Not my children did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was too old. And so we knew of the school. I didn't understand what they were doing. And they used to have the Greek Orthodox church thing up front. I thought it was a Greek Orthodox church thing, and it's not. It's King's Academy. They just happen to have somebody else's church in front of it.
Yeah, I think that they started, I went there 3rd through 12th grade actually.
Oh, wow.
And they had not started too long before that. So they were, I think, renting this gymnasium, and then it kind of expanded, and then that other church ended up, I think, selling them that building, and then another church rents it on Sundays now. But yeah, it's mostly used for the school.
Is there any church associated with the school at all?
No,
Okay.
It is, yeah. I think
so this is Kelly, and her kids go to King's Academy.
Yes.
Oh,
And
cool.
Jennifer's grew up going to King's Academy.
Yeah, cool.
We're headed there now for Memphis.
Yeah,
fun.
Cora was studying,
Yes.
and she said it is
awesome.
very strict.
It is.
Yes.
Stricter, which we pay for.
Yeah, no, that's,
Yeah. Nice.
So I also saw that recently, well, maybe not recently, and recent for me, so probably 5 years, at the top of the hill, they either just introduced a high school or they bought the church that was up there or something.
I know they built a high school. To be honest, I haven't been back on the campus in
Kelly's nodding,
a
yes.
while. So yeah, she could tell you better than me. I should go
high
back and like
school?
tour it. It'd be cool to see.
Well, if it's got that high school building, then it's double the size.
Oh, I'm sure it's, yeah.
2,000 students.
Oh, wow.
I graduated in 2011, so I'm sure it's like tripled since then.
So that's a fascinating thing for me here in Woodstock. There are so many avenues for non-traditional stuff, right?
Sure, yeah.
So whether it's school, like on the way here to the gym, I think I passed like Living Science, I passed King's, I passed Cherokee Christian, I passed Timothy. I mean, it's like, what? And just all this school opportunity. Then there's Ancient Awakenings right here. So if you want anything that has nothing to do with, you know, I don't know, the medical world, but you want to try something on your own, you can buy stuff from them. Does it work? I don't know. Sometimes it's just a voodoo doll or whatever, but sometimes they do work. Okay, so you grew up going to there and then stayed in the area, or did you move away? Or
Yeah, no, I went to KSU, so my parents
awesome.
still live in the area.
Nursing program?
Yes. Yep, I did the nursing program there. I got to live with my parents, so I have no student debt, or I didn't at any point have student debt, so that's awesome.
Did they have the Hope Scholarship and stuff?
Yeah, Hope Scholarship, and so that was great.
Well, I was just telling Alan and Oliver, who are big into soccer, that using the Hope Scholarship, so I've got Evan at UGA, it's $1,000 a semester for school fees.
Oh, awesome.
But Olivia, who's at Auburn, with a SMART scholarship, a academic scholarship, that was the wrong words, yeah, me and words, it's like $15,000 a semester. I'm like, dang it. And she has a scholarship that's taking off money. This is
That's
not,
awesome.
yeah. So this, here in Georgia, you can do this and actually make it make sense. Plus you picked a degree that like, I'm gonna make some sweet money at.
Yeah, it's nursing is, there's a lot of different avenues you can do with nursing, for sure.
I think I think if you can find the business that most people don't want to do, you can have security and better pay because people don't like doing these things. So I always picked. So I was a salesman for a telecom company, and I picked the worst territories because nobody wanted to go there, which meant when I went there and did my job correctly, I got paid a lot because you worked hard and did your stuff, right? So anyway, so you spent, what is it? It's a 4-year degree at KSU, and then you have to intern at places?
You do clinicals, so you visit
clinicals.
different like hospitals and clinics and things like that for different classes.
Anything in that journey
hours.
stand out?
I don't know. I enjoyed a lot of different aspects of it.
Okay.
I kind of went the very general route with med surg when I got out of school.
Okay.
So I still wasn't sure what my niche was, and I've switched to different areas throughout the years too.
Yeah.
So now I'm working in GI.
Yeah.
And so it's more like about the life, work-life balance, and that, I don't have to be commuting to the city,
right.
No calls or weekends. So I'm enjoying that now. So.
Yeah. Well, I think not that there was a lot of great things that came out of 2020, but probably the best thing is the commute and people's, I guess that I don't know if it's a balance, whatever it is, I want more out of my home life, and I don't want to donate so much of my time to work, kind of came into picture. Now, you have to go to work. You can't telecommute because you physically have to go in there. Yeah. It's like here at the gym coaching, I can't telecommute to coach because people would be like, that's weird. You're on, I don't know, Zoom that wouldn't work. So is it a lot closer? So what's the drive right now?
Like 10 minutes.
Oh,
We're right
yeah,
in downtown Woodstock.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. So
GI specialist of Georgia. So
okay.
Go get your colonoscopy.
So, hey, no, we were just talking about it. So at 50,
Yeah.
I'm due for those sort of things. And I was like, I don't even have a primary doctor. This is how bad. I don't go to the doctor ever, which is great. I'm healthy and fit enough. And I eat well and I do all these things that I don't really ever see the doctor. I don't ever really get sick. Right now, I guess the seasons have changed. And I woke up and Levi too. We were like, I'm draining out the nose and I don't know why. But yeah, so anyway, I asked like, hey, who should I go see? So this, I know, do you know Yancey Stewart? No. She works out of Dr. Eric's Health Sprout.
Oh, okay.
And anyway, so she threw out a name of someone that we both actually know, and I was like, oh yeah, I should go see this guy. He's a general. So in order to get to you, I need a primary doctor to refer me, I think.
I think you can, because the colonoscopy is something standard, you might be able to. Actually, that's a great question. You could call the office and see. I think that
I'm going to make a note to myself to actually do this.
Be able to go, but I'm not sure. I know if you are having issues and stuff, you'd probably need to go to primary care first.
Yeah, I don't have any issues. Guys, it's a silent killer. Don't be stupid. Go see a doctor every once in a while.
Men and women, actually.
Oh, women too?
And now it's more and more prevalent, and so it's actually the recommended age is down to 45.
Really?
And then for African American males especially, I think it's 40. So it's even higher incidences. And only 25%, very, very few of that, like less than 1% is of people getting colon cancer is from like maybe diet has an impact or lifestyle and things like that. About 25% is genetic, 75% is random.
Really?
So that's why it's so
75% random
to just get it screened, because even you're doing great things for your health. Live till you're 90. You're going to prevent probably lots of other issues, but this is one thing that you got to get done. So
in a podcast that'll probably come out before this, we have a secret, and so you may be able to actually shed some light onto this secret. So we have a health secret that we've had, not secret, I don't know, a health thing we did in our family. So real quick backstory, Olivia was really sick. She had a 105-degree fever, and as a new parent, you're like, what is going on? I think it was Friday night, 2 a.m., and you're like, do I go, what do I, right? I go next door to my neighbor who happens to be my brother, and so I'm like, hey, what did you guys used to do for your kids when they were really sick? And they're like, well, we'd give them a baby enema. I'm like, what the hell is that? And so it's an enema the size of your thumb. And I went to she had one. I went over there, gave one to Eve or Olivia or Evan. It was one of the kids. They were really young. I don't know which one. And if you're going to make fun of them, I'll come after you. They were like 6 months or something. Put them on the toilet, whatever. And their temperature dropped. To like within an hour, went from 105 to like 101 or something like that. And I was like, what is this magic inside of this bottle of water? So do you guys ever do anything?
No, the enemas, I'm just there doing pre-op and post-op.
Yeah,
so that's just like if someone didn't do their prep well enough, we might have to do that to get them the next 10%. But Pediatrics is very different than the adult population,
Okay.
so I wouldn't know about
Any of that?
what you guys were
There's some
doing.
sauce in there. So the other thing we found that's not so gross, or I don't think it's gross, it's healthy, whatever, is bread Beckers. So we would
Yeah.
make our own bread out of grain.
That's
and like
awesome.
there's just so many opportunities for non-traditional things in this Woodstock area. So if you don't live in Woodstock and you're listening to us, come to live in Woodstock. We got trails, we got CrossFit, we've got homemade bread. I don't know.
Yeah,
All sorts of cool stuff. So you grew up here, went to Kennesaw. Where did you meet Alec then?
So we actually were part of the same church in
Oh,
youth.
okay.
We were in youth together and friends for a long time, and then we actually started dating in college. We
How about that? Did he
became
go to
closer
KSU
friends there.
also?
Yes,
Okay.
we went there and did the business program.
Very
So,
cool.
Yeah.
And so the church is Jubilee Church.
Yes.
Down
and
the
we've
street.
just down behind the Starbucks on 92.
Yep. So if you guys are in the area and you're looking for a church, it's a good one. I've been there at least once. I'm planning to go there again. So the thing that I am trying to do as I get older is surround myself with people that not necessarily agree, like an echo chamber or whatever, I get those things, but have the same values that I've got. And so I look in the gym and we have that labeled happy, humble, helpful people who want to be healthy and fit now as well as in our 90s. Well, we've been saying that for 5 or so years. And so now people like your husband, like yourself, whatever that fit these molds. And then I didn't realize until recently, a lot of these people work for Aaron and Vincent Financial, which is also part of Jubilee. I'm like, I think probably half our members, or maybe not half, a third of them probably belong to Jubilee Church and are in that group. I'm like, I like them here. I would probably like them there. So if you're looking for a place,
Yeah.
what time is the service?
10:30 on Sundays.
And do they have fun things for men and women to do, like as a community building?
We do a lot of events. Yeah. It's not separated on Sundays, but
Right.
yeah.
Men go here, women go there.
It's like
put on your
back in the-
coverings. Yeah.
yeah. No, we have a lot of fun events like this Saturday. We've kind of got, for some of the ladies, we're going to hang out by fire. It's finally getting cooler weather. We have somebody that's coming to share with us and just spend some time together and pray. But we also, I know the guys have a really cool climbing event coming up on the 14th. I don't know if it's what the deadline is for that, for the signups, but
Yeah, Aaron and I talked about that, and he said, you're also doing hot shots on the 14th. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to double promote,
yeah.
but I would. I said, next time, let me
That's
know.
right.
And I will totally double promote. So I know because of how I grew up. I'm an electrical engineer from Georgia Tech. My natural state is introverted nerd. And so to create fun events, man, it's like, give me calculus, that's easier. So I have a hard time just creating things that I think other people would enjoy because I enjoy weird things, But climbing, yeah, we could do that. Everybody loves climbing, right? So, hey, let's piggyback on someone else that's already doing fun things that already has like 30 people, maybe not 30, but whatever, going there from the gym. I think that'd be awesome.
Actually, one really fun event that we do every year is our Fallapalooza.
Ooh, what is that?
So it's like, a lot of different churches in the area will do like a fall festival kind of thing. Well, we're having that on the 29th of October. So I think it's 4:30 to 7. You don't have to RSVP or anything. But it's going to be a fun time. There's going to be live music. So a lot of the people that play in our band on a Sunday are really good musicians and get a chance to do some different music throughout the decades. I think
So is it all just music, or are there things for kids to do too?
There's
or?
things for kids to do. I'm not sure which activities. I know in the past we've done like bounce house, face painting.
Oh, I think I remember that from last time. And that's the 29th?
The 29th.
All right, I'll put it in an email to people so they can get out and have fun.
This year there will be free barbecue, and I know Craig is, I think, in charge of that.
Okay.
And he has a good reputation for making some good barbecue. So.
Yeah, so I talked to Natalie about them and their food. What do they do? The cereal challenge. They went out and bought a whole bunch of old cereals that they used to eat and had their kids try them
interesting.
all out. So I'm like, okay, I'm in. If you can do barbecue as well, you fascinated me with your cereal challenge. I'd come out and try that.
Yeah, so free food, kids activities, live music.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
So you're involved into this area. You've lived here a while in the area, KSU. We've been open since 2008. You graduated King's Academy in 2011. Did you ever hear of CrossFit Garage before that?
No, really, I heard of it through the group from church and
Yeah.
Alec working with the guys that are going, and then he started going. And
So we did a really bad job of promoting ourselves. If you are a local and didn't even know we're here. So then you say, okay, my husband's doing this. I think I'll come in. What, why did you decide, let's do this thing?
Yeah, so for me, I didn't really play sports as a kid. I've never been super athletic, but definitely feeling like, after 25, it was like, okay, like I can eat something bad and now I actually feel bad afterwards.
Right.
And I actually need to start exercising, just thinking more health consciously, but also just my mental health, finding I have some ADHD traits, and along with that can come some anxiety and depression and stuff like that. And exercise has been huge for my mental health. And so I've tried so many things and failed. Like either I get bored or I get, I need that external motivation. At least for me, I'm not the person that can be like, I'm going to decide to do this and I'm just going to do that by myself and get up at 5 a.m. every day. Like I need to have people around me encouraging me. So for me, for a long time, I was hesitant just because for me, it was the cost initially, and a little bit the fear.
Talk to me about the fear.
But I think just, you can think that that's a certain kind of group of people and they've kind of got their thing that they do, and you don't know what the different lifts are or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
so now you are correct in. So I dispel a lot of, we call it FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. But it's only dispelled in terms of this is our gym and what we're like. If you go down the road, you're going to find a CrossFit gym that is totally different, right? So you may find I don't think it's called CrossFit Passion anymore, but they are, if you're going to the games, you come to us. We are not. If you're going to CrossFit games, we are like, no, we're normal people just trying to be healthy and fit. So I guess you knew people coming in. So some of the fear was kind of assuaged a little bit by, well, I kind of know these people, right?
A little bit. I mean, the coaches too were really welcoming, and I think just being willing to explain things and encourage, and then just, you'd meet somebody and they would, great job, and,
right.
Show you how to do something when the coach is over there talking to somebody else.
Right.
And I could ask questions.
Happy, humble, helpful. So
Yeah.
I love it that people are like, hey, Jennifer, I see you doing, you might try. And it's a member helping another member. Great, be helpful, right? And then that happy part, we'll introduce ourselves and talk to each other. And then humble, I mean, nobody is like, well, I just totally crushed you. You don't even talk to me, right? Everybody is like supportive. Even when you're like, I'm still working out and you already finished. They'll come over and be like, yeah, you can do it, right?
Yeah.
So I do also love that. But it took a long time to craft that. We were not that before. We used to be very much, in 2008, it was come in, do a muscle up, and then throw up. Let's do this thing, right? And it was, I don't know why we did it like that. That's just how everything was done. We didn't know any better. So if you were nervous or afraid of CrossFit, you can listen to Jennifer there. It's not like that. Just did a podcast with Alan and Oliver Molinex, and they were saying the same sort of thing, that like it's the community that helps bring you in and helps you want to work out because you have that accountability.
Yeah, for sure. And I knew that was something I needed. And, it's worth, the time commitment, it's worth the cost, because the amount that it's going to affect your life, whether it's, your fitness or mentally or the community, those things, are going to add to your lifespan, to your quality of life. Right. And so, much better paying for those things now than paying for it later on with poor health or
pills or
cost of medication, cost of whatever. Right. So
I say this a lot. I don't even have a primary doctor, and I really attribute it to the precepts of CrossFit. It's constant very functional movements executed at high intensity, and their fitness in 100 words starts off with eat meats, vegetables, some seeds, fruits, no sugar, or little starches and no sugar, right? So it starts off with nutrition. You should probably eat smart. I'm like, I love this. And so 15 years into it, I don't have a primary doctor. So is that good? Well, I probably should have a primary doctor, but I don't take any medications. I'm not beholden to any measurements or whatever, right? All of my biometrics are fit. And if I got sick, then they just pass into healthy, right? So instead of having, I don't know, what is a good healthy heartbeat, like 70 beats a minute? That's healthy?
Yeah, 60 to 100.
Yeah, so mine's probably 60. And then when I get sick, it drops to like 70 or ups or whatever, which is still healthy, right? Whereas healthy people can get sick and they drop to sick. So now their heartbeat's 120. Well, we're fitter for this, right? So we're paying a cost now, for sure, in money and time. But feebleness is chasing us down. If we don't do anything, it's going to catch us. Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, and this, I just turned 30, so it's I'm more aware of how much I need to do this.
So you had mentioned at 25 you felt some differences.
Yeah.
My ages were 32 and 42. Those were like, oh man, something changed in me. And it literally felt like a stair-step change. Like I turned a corner. It was something like dramatic, like, I don't feel like me. Did you feel like that at 25 or 30? Or
maybe not that drastic, but it was definitely like before I could, eat what I want, stay up late, and like, I would have plenty of like, all night studying sessions during college and things like that. I mean, I could not do that now, but that's not good for you. So,
well, so 32 was I can't eat whatever I want anymore.
Yeah.
And I played a lot of sports with my old fraternity brothers. And I was not as fast or good as I used to be. I'm like, what just happened? And then at 42, I used to stay up till like 1 a.m. and get up at like 6 a.m. No problem. 5 hours of sleep. I gotcha. No, at 42, it was like, something is wrong. I'm falling asleep at every stoplight I'm at. What is wrong? Dangerous. And realized, I need to go to bed at 10 and wake up at 6. I need 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And my eyes went weird. So that's the other thing. I had 20/20 vision. Now it's not. So boo. But I don't think you can exercise your eyes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I don't know about that one.
Squeeze them, open them, shut them. I don't know. But I think what you said is huge. And who else was talking about that? Charity was saying that in our podcast, that looking forward to a lifetime of health rather than trying to fix the problems I gave myself. That's a huge one.
Yeah.
So my sticky why, why do I even do this stuff? I want to be healthy and fit enough to coach my kids in soccer. So what does that look like, right? So if you can put a picture of yourself in the future and then see it, you can get there. If you don't even have a picture, you're not going to get there. You don't even know where you're going, right?
Yeah, I keep thinking of this show I watched on Netflix recently. I mean, maybe you've seen it. I think it'd be right up your alley. It's Live to 100.
Ooh, I haven't.
The Secret of the Blue Zones. So there's studies they've done on...
I will link it in the show notes.
Yeah, there's studies they've done on areas where there's a lot of centurions, so people that live past 100 across the world, and there's these little pockets where it's very prevalent. So they're like, okay, what's their secret? So they kind of go to, there's like the island of Okinawa in Japan, and looking at, this little village in Italy, or different areas across the world, and what are some commonalities. And it's,
what did they say?
A lot of it was, it was exercise. For these people, this is built into the way their culture's been for a long time, but it's like they have exercise built into their daily habits or whatever their routine is. The Japanese in this that they visited here, a lot of them, they sit on the floor and they sleep on the floor. So they're getting, these old people getting up, basically doing, several squats a day. Yeah, just getting up and down and up and down. And also, it was their diets, not a ton of meat, but, they've got their proteins, they've got, seeds and nuts and, all those healthy things. And
probably a lack of refined sugar.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't have a great nutrition plan. What I did as an engineer, I said, let me look at all the plans out there. What do they all commonly say? The one thing true about every nutrition plan is eat less or no sugar. So I'm like, you know what? That's what I'm just going to do. I'm going to try the don't eat sugar. And then I found out later on that cancer uses sugar to grow. I'm like, I don't know if that's true, but that's what they say. And my dad has a lot of melanomas, and he had prostate cancer and all sorts of stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, genetically, I probably need to watch out. So speaking of genetics, or maybe the generational cascade, if they've had this environment for generations, I bet there's some flowing of downhill, like, hey, my kids will be fitter simply because I did these things as well. So you're like unlocking maybe some genes or expressing some genes better that your kids will then express. Do you think that's something to do with it as well?
Possibly. They actually, towards the end of the show, started talking about these blue zones possibly disappearing.
Oh.
Partly because of, really, it's like our modern culture. We're bringing in the McDonald's. We're bringing in, the modernization of now you sit on your, at your computer all day.
Right.
And it was just interesting to think, now we have robot vacuums. We've got all these things that people used to do every day. Or
just like right in front of our building, there's a dialysis place. You're like, wait a minute, when did these things get so prevalent that everybody... So somebody, who was I listening to? They're like, if you map out how many McDonald's are out there in your area, you probably have the exact same number of dialysis places as well. I'm like,
oh,
what?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've never
so they
thought
go,
of that.
I don't know. So these things, these Western advancements, like in some of the things, maybe it's not advanced at all. It's not good. So when we do this stuff in here, we hopefully combat some of those things.
Yeah.
But so I love this about CrossFit. They have a pyramid. So I think food pyramid, but it's the health and fitness pyramid, I guess. The base layer they put in there isn't CrossFit and it isn't move. CrossFit says the base layer of what you need to be doing for your health and fitness is nutrition. So you have to look at your nutrition. If you don't do that, it's like a big piece that you're missing. Like, all right. So I think it's wise. Be smart about what you eat. We can't eat like trash. Like there is an age, 25 or whatever it is, that there's a reckoning, and you need to be smart about what you eat. And I was just talking I hate when people do a cheat meal, because cheating usually it means it advanced you above everybody else and then outside the rules boundary. But when people are eating for nutrition and then they cheat, that doesn't advance you. That brings you backwards, right? So it's more like a destruction meal, not a cheat meal. Like you're messing everything up. Don't do it. Anyway, that's soapboxy stuff. But I guess I am on a soapbox. I own a CrossFit gym. I want people to be healthy and fit.
Yeah. It was interesting. They focused on could we create these somewhere again?
Yeah.
And it's all about environment. And so a big part of it was the community and what is around you? What are other people around you eating? What are other people, what's your village, these people are in this village where it's really hilly, so they're walking up hills. Obviously, where we are we going to instantly change our modern environment? No. So we need to supplement with things like CrossFit or other areas with our health that, I know you guys have the nutrition program that you're doing, and where you kind of get with other people like-minded to make sure that you're
doing the right things.
Yeah.
So, yes, and on the nutrition, I'm a fan of the habits. So change something habitually, let it work over time. I'm not a huge fan. I did cut out sugar, but I'm not a fan of doing that because it's just hard to do. It's better to do smart things over time and let those habits build up rather than, just go crazy. But so you had mentioned earlier also, you said you had tried some things that failed. So not to say, to boohoo on the things that failed, but what do you see? Why is this successful for you versus the other things? You had mentioned some accountability and community. Is that the biggest things, or is there movement patterns, or what has made this work for you, CrossFit, versus other things that you've tried?
Yeah, I think that was for me. I mentioned. I think before I was a little bit hard-headed and thinking I should be able to there's plenty of things on YouTube. I should be able to just figure this out myself, and I could do this in my basement, whenever's convenient and whatnot. It doesn't cost me anything, but that was not something I was able to stick with. And so learning about myself and being a little kinder to myself, recognizing, okay, I need the community. I need the accountability. I need these things. And being okay with, I might need other people around me to help me do what I need to do. So that was kind of a big part of it was, there was a little bit of fear initially, and then I got to know people. But really, it was, the accountability of being here. I'm
sure.
People know if I don't show up, and I feel different. If when I don't work out as much one week, I come back the next week and it's like, I'm a little more this hits me different. Off on vacation, you come back and it's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it took me 15 years to realize if I take a week off, I need to go slow. And I've been doing this forever, and I still tell myself, remember, go slow, go slow.
Yeah.
So if you take a week off, go slow for the first week and then get back in the saddle. So I think yes to everything you're saying there. And I tell people a lot is everything you could ever want to know now is on the internet. and there's a video for things too. So if you want to do it on your own, do it.
Sure.
This is for people who want coaching, mentoring, and accountability. So am I doing it right? I don't know. That's what a coach is for, right? If like we didn't get into it yet, but like Airbnb, like, hey, does anybody in here have any rental experience? There's some outside the gym mentoring of possibly, hey, I do that as well. Let's share notes, right? You know, I think I sent a podcast to Alec about did you get the right insurance? I'm like, oh, man, I don't know if I even knew that was a thing. Like there's a different insurance for an Airbnb versus a long-term rental. I'm like, what? I didn't know that. So anyway, coaching, mentoring, and accountability. And then accountability comes along with it's your people in your classes or the gym, as well as like Danny will reach out or Jamie reaches out like, hey, we haven't seen you in 3 days. So in a gym like this, we want 100 people coming all the time.
And interest for me. I would get bored of other stuff. Whereas this is like everything's always different. We're changing it up. And you have the intrigue of like, okay, we have these named workouts that they repeat and you can measure yourself. But it's not like you're doing that same one every week. You know, it's spread throughout the year. So everything's, you know, that's one thing I've learned about myself with this, like, oh, I've got some ADHD because I get bored pretty easily and my brain's going all over the place and easily distracted. So having something like this where it keeps me
entertained and engaged.
Engaged, yeah.
Well, I agree. I think for me, the biggest part is the reason I've been so consistent in the 15, 16 years of doing CrossFit is that it's different. And every day I'm like, I don't even know what we're doing. Let's do it. It's I mean, it's still some of the movements are the same, but the combinations, the permutations, the modalities. So the movements we're doing, the time domains we're doing it in is just very different. And that is part of the definition of CrossFit is that it's work capacity across a broad time and modal domain, meaning the times are 2 minutes to 30 minutes. The movements or the modes are, I did a burpee, I lifted a heavy deadlift, right? So we have all these different things we're doing. And it's just creative. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's have fun with this. And then we do repeat workouts. And even like, again, all this time later, we just did Jerry. It was like run a mile, row a 2K, and run a mile. And apparently I did it in 2017. And I was only like 20 seconds slower. I'm like, that's not bad considering 2017. So that's 6 years later. And I'm only 20 seconds slower. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I think board is a huge thing. So something else you had mentioned way early on, I'm going to come back to it. I wrote it down on my notes. See my tangents? I didn't go too tangential, but I'm bringing us back. You had mentioned mental health, and I had found this fascinating. Sitting down and doing these podcasts, I did not really think about the aspect of the mental health side of it. For me too, right? And then hearing you guys mention it, I'm like, wow, I feel the same way. And it's not something that I would probably had put on the poster of, hey, this is what it's good for, right? So tell me a little about that. What do you feel clear about and so forth? Like Skylar and I had talked a lot about stress and depression and these things. And then Jamie Thomas, she actually has her own business now, Fox Oaks Counseling, and she specializes in this sort of environment. Like it's not abnormal to feel this way, talk to somebody, or come to the gym and release some of that feeling, right? So anything you would give to people out there in the world, like, hey, this helps my mental space?
I mean, yeah, exercise helps with stress. And then a big thing too, I mean, back to that live to your 100, one thing they notice is that sense of community. So if you're somebody that, you work from home or you don't have that sense of community, that community that's here, is excellent. Like you have people you talk to every day. Like they kind of talked about the missing the moments of, we used to talk to strangers, we used to sit in line and wait for things and talk to people or, go to the store. Now it's like we buy everything on Amazon. Everything's on our phones. We're just interacting with computers all the time. So just being there, interacting with people, obviously exercise helps, you're releasing endorphins. That helps with stress. And for me, I mean, it helps with, I don't really haven't researched too far the reasoning behind it, but with some of these like ADHD traits, I feel like it helps with clarity, mental clarity for me. So I think I feel better, I feel more motivated. Hey, I did something today, I accomplished something. Helps with motivation for other things I need to do throughout the day or throughout the week.
I feel the same, and It's funny, I have all this gear. Like you had said, hey, I can just use my basement and do it for free. I literally have all the old gear that we would get rid of. It's in my basement. I have a full functioning gym, and I never work out by myself. Like very rarely will I hop. If I do, I'm hopping on the bike or the rower, and I just do that for 20 minutes. But it's so weird. The community and the people and just all of it. It's like I will actually drive in here just to work out because of what it gives me in my head space, rather than do the exact same thing in my basement, which then cuts out a 15-minute drive. Yeah, I'll take the drive. Okay, so I've got some things I'm going to add there. I got Followpalooza I'm going to add to the show notes. I'll add your business to the show notes. Some other things I want to talk about. You and Alec actually started something which is near and dear to my heart. So I'm a landlord by day and a gym owner by night. So you guys, how did you decide, like, let's get into this rental business? What came over you, or what did you read, or where did you go that you're like, this is what I'm going to do?
Yeah, so I had always been interested in real estate. Since I was young, my dad's always been interested. My mom became a realtor. And so I would always we would stop at open houses and look around and stuff. So I've always been interested in it. I love, Airbnb. I love travel. I love meeting people, having people in my home. So, what really kicked it off, because it was always okay, yeah, this fits, but how did I get started? Was, like I was saying a couple years ago, finding out some things about, and kind of in this journey of exploring a potential ADHD diagnosis. I have some traits, and I'm kind of on that path to exploring that and realizing I need some creative outlets.
Ooh, yeah.
And I think nursing is a great career. It's not necessarily much creativity. I do get to work with people. I knew when I chose that I liked the sciences, that felt safe, but the idea of entrepreneurship and creativity and kind of getting to blaze your own trail a little bit is really interesting to me. Whereas where I was however many years ago when I chose nursing, the things I thought were important was safety, security,
sure,
those kinds of things. And those are great. And it's great to have that and to do this kind of and that's one thing that's great about nursing is I'm kind of part-time doing that and then part-time doing this.
Yeah.
So I have that flexibility with it to kind of have.
Nursing will give you the funds.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've talked to my kids about the same thing. They're like, well, couldn't I just become an entrepreneur? I'm like, with what cash?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? I mean, you have to bootstrap, get money somewhere. How about get a degree with a job that will pay you and then be smart with that money? So, I'm an electrical engineer from Georgia Tech. I don't do that still. I use that money to do other stuff. So I think it's a great way to go. Give me something that I can do that I enjoy to build the capital to then build the next thing that I want to enjoy.
Yeah.
So was there any book that, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's Robert Kiyosaki's book of basically go be a real estate guy. And that's what really flipped, oh, geez, I could do this.
Yeah,
was there something like that for you, or just your parents that were able to?
I flipped through that one a little bit,
Okay.
but it was just listening to Bigger Pockets.
I will link that in the show notes. I also listen to Bigger Pockets. I like them. Yeah.
Yeah. So listening to that and then just kind of seeing, I think years ago, I've just met different people that were doing that. My mom does have an Airbnb in her. They have one in their little suite above their home.
Oh,
so
fascinating. Here in Woodstock?
They're in Ackworth, but yeah, close by.
So. Okay, wait, we didn't even talk about location. So where is your unit located, and how can people, and I will put it in the show notes, but how can people rent it? So where is it first?
Yeah, so it's Bryson City, North Carolina.
Okay, and if I was here in Atlanta, I wanted to get to Bryson, roughly how far away is that?
It's about 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Okay, so guys,
Maybe
if you're in Woodstock, you're about 2.5 hours away from a mountain retreat. So what are some of the things in Bryson City that's interesting? What do you got over there?
So it's very close. It's the closest little town to the Cherokee entrance of the Great Smokie Mt National Park. So you've got the park. It's from our cabin. It's about 40-minute drive.
Okay.
But it's also close on the kind of the other side. It's kind of between the Smokies and the Nantahala Outdoor Center. So you have the Nantahala River. That's where they had the Olympics back, and I think in '96 for the rafting kind of part of it, or kayaking.
Sure,
so you kind of still see some of that. So there's great kayaking, which is super fun. There's, of course, there's mountains all around, lots of hikes. There's the Fontana Lake, which is beautiful. So there's, lake activities. And there's also the Great Smokie Mountain Railroad. So we have yet to do that. I think we're going to do that this fall actually, but that's a great one to bring your kids, because they do one during Christmas time. They do the Polar Express.
Okay.
So it's you kind of drive through. You get to see parts of along the river, parts of the Smokie Mountains, Blue Ridge. Parkway, that kind of thing.
The Blue Ridge Scenic Drive, or what?
Exactly, but by train,
and
you get you can do different packages. There's food and wine and stuff like that.
And so you could use your rental as your staging ground.
Exactly.
And so if they wanted to find your rental, you've got it's like, hey, it's our website. So you can, of course, go through Airbnb and VBRO, but you can also find it here. So how do they go online and find you? I'll link it below, but what would they do to find your place?
Yeah, so we have it through our software, which is Hospitable. We're just getting this started, so we haven't done our own branded domain yet or
totally
anything
fine.
like that.
Hey, use other people's resources, right?
We'll post that link there.
Yeah. Okay, so you'll see me in the link. I'll put it in the below, and you guys can order direct. So the nice thing, if you don't know this is a little education on entrepreneurialism. Everybody takes a piece of the pie. So if you use Airbnb to book, then they're going to cut out a bigger piece of pie. If you use their internal software, it basically more of the money goes to the landlord or the owner. So it's just like anything. Like here at the gym, we use credit cards to process most fees. It's like a 4.5% charge to us for the privilege of swiping the card. I'm like, dang it, that's just a lot of money. And if you use a bank, then it's 2.5% just for the privilege. But if you use like Venmo, PayPal, or Bitcoin or whatever, it's like nothing. So like old systems, anyway, they all want to take a piece of their pie, and it just is annoying. So if you're interested to find a place to go do a cool trip in the mountains, well, here's a place, and use their link below so that you can order direct.
Yeah, let us know,
them.
and if you book direct with us, we'll give you 10% off.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. They're even helping you out with a discount. So, guys in the gym, I will tell you this. If your friends have a business, pay full price. So do not ask for the discount. You should support your friends in the businesses they do. I think Natalie Guffey posted this on her on Facebook a while ago. It was, if your friends have a business, support them. Shine it, put it on, broadcast it to the social medias, and pay full price because you want them to succeed. So guys, don't use the discount code. Use pay full price for this. So, any challenges that have come up from having your first rental?
Oh yeah, I mean, we're just learning on the job.
Yeah.
So things with things you don't think of. We really appreciate. We've had some really great guests, and we've got some great reviews, but, they'll send us private messages like, hey, we thought of this. We've noticed this, at our cabin, or have you thought about adding a TV or doing this or that? And so we've been able to kind of take some of those things and put those on a list. And every time we go, we kind of work down that list to add different improvements and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
Do you ever get those weird, like we used to do a survey in the gym, and I just had to stop doing it because people would ask, like they would literally say things like, should have a second bathroom. Like, we have 2 bathrooms. I don't understand. What does that even mean? And then somebody's like, you should add a pool. I'm like, what? We're not going to add. So I just you know what, whatever. I'll just talk to people. I don't need to do a survey. I'll just talk to people. So had anybody ask for like something crazy, like you should put in your own hot tub sauna combo cold plunge?
Actually, some friends of ours stayed with us. It's not really that crazy, but probably further down the
road.
list.
Yeah, you're like, I can't do that.
Things they want to do.
Money is the
They talked about, we have like a pergola over the hot tub, and so they talked about like a screen that you pull down so you can watch movies from in the hot tub.
Ooh.
So, but we try to really, there's not, until like Starlink comes there, we really don't have great internet in the mountains, and so we really focus on like an unplugged experience where you're not really dealing with a lot of screens.
I think when you go to the mountains, you want unplugged. If you go to the beach, you want like plugged, and I've got the sun and the waves, but you're plugged in, right? Maybe. I think mountains, that's kind of the thing you sell is, hey, you come here because you want to be away, you want to see nature, you want the leaves, you want seclusion.
It's secluded, it's relaxing. There's a beautiful mountain view, and so the stars from there are beautiful.
Oh yeah, the light pollution would be way down.
Yeah.
So many moons ago, some of my Georgia Tech buddies, we said, hey, let's hike the AT. I'm like, that sounds like a great idea. What do you want to do? So one year we went to the middle of the Smoky Mountains and hiked south. And the next year we went to the middle and then hiked north, which basically means you're going downhill for the majority of it because the Smokie Mountains at the top. That's as
Yeah.
high as you go. So I know you got to go here in a second. The Fontana Dam is right there on the south side of it. So my buddies and I, we went down hiking, and they're like, your dad's supposed to pick us up. I'm like, yeah, my dad's going to pick us up. He'll find us. It's pre-cell phone, so there's no real way to communicate with him. We just
Yeah.
told him, be at Fontana Dam at like noon on Friday. So he was going to come get us. And so at the time, you could actually go tour Fontana Dam. Now, they don't let you do that. But so we get there, we're all tired. We've been out hiking for a week, and he pulls up right on time. And I'm like, that's amazing. We just stepped down here, and he happens to pull up. And he's like, hey, guys, did you notice that Fontana Dam is changing out their magnetic coils? And he's a mechanical engineer. He's like, I really want to go down and see that. And my friends looked at me, and I'm like, I mean, he did drive all this way just to pick us up. Let's humor him. So now we're walking down all these steps. And so anyway, Fontana, I've never even heard of Fontana Dam, Lake Fontana, or any of that. But it'll live in my memories forever because
That's so funny.
after a week of walking, my dad made us walk for another 2 hours up and down all these steps. It was fascinating to go inside a turbine for a TVA dam. But
Wow.
there's some really cool stuff up there. Guys, if you are looking for a vacation place, I think this is great. I will, I'll text you to get that link. And when I get that link, I'll put it in there. I'll probably book that for myself. I've been looking for something to do that would be further away. I mean, we're here in Woodstock, which is kind of like just go a little bit to LJ. LJ's not far enough. I need like more woods. I need more seclusion. So that sounds like the place to go. So what would you, let's back this up. What would you tell somebody in your position here, a lady in Woodstock that's thinking, hey, I can't do anything for my health and fitness. It's been too long. Can't do anything. What would you say to them about coming here at CrossFit Garage?
Oh yeah, just try it. Because
Yeah.
you're going to meet people and they're going to be encouraging, and you're going to, it's going to be hard at first. I mean, there's first few weeks you try to go easy, it's going to be hard, but once you kind of get past that hump, you're like, oh, I'm actually doing this. I got a PR, you know? And that can kind of carry you forward, but it's totally
Give it a
worth
shot.
it. Yeah.
I appreciate that. So it's been fun for me to see you change and grow through the process. I was telling Alec the other day, I wish I would have videoed like anybody that starts up. I keep saying it, I never do it. But to see the change in your form and just the confidence and like, oh, I definitely know how to do that. It's just great. So some of the things we do are kind of complicated. There's Olympic movements here and there. And so it's not hard, but it's not easy, right? And then, of course, the other day, you and Alec partnered up for that team WOD. I'm like, oh man, did it go okay? You guys, no fights at home or anything? It was okay?
No, yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, Verity and I would never team up. She's like, you're off my, because you're going to tell me to do this and that. I'm like, yeah. I was becoming smarter, pre 50, I don't know. I was a rough teammate, especially for my wife. So she's like, I would never team up with you. All right, well, this is good stuff. So guys, if you're out there and you're wondering, hey, I don't know what to do, this is a great place to start. You do not have to be fit to start CrossFit. You can come at any place and we will help guide you there. We start everybody off with 5 one-on-one sessions. So we'll help you come over, get over the hurdles, help us understand you. And then if you want, you can stay one-on-one or you can go to class. We do offer nutrition coaching, as Jennifer mentioned. We don't force anything on you. If it's not something that you want to do, then yeah, that's fine. We want to help you meet you where you're at. If you need help, you can find us on any of the social medias. Go to our website, CrossFitGarage.com, fill out the Get Started form or the No Sweat Intro form, or just email me, Andy@CrossFitGarage.com. But here, we were looking for people that want coaching, mentoring, and accountability. We want to help and find and build people that are happy, humble, and helpful, and they want to be healthy and fit now, as well as in their 90s. All right, guys, take care. Thank you, Jennifer, for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.